60 mil. 15 mil overpayment, it's all good. Arsenal started negotiations at a significantly lower fee, while Newcastle wanted a larger figure, but the clubs are set to reach a compromise. The overall package does not include add-ons, which is fantastic for us then. What's this? I was told by a source that Xabi Alonso is a big fan of Martin Zubimendi and has communicated to Chelsea that he's a player he likes and is of interest to him. I'm not saying Chelsea are going for Zubimendi, but he's a player who has been mentioned by Alonso. Makes sense because Alonso is at Real Madrid. They were linked with him. Obviously, I think Alonso gave him his chance at Sociedad, so it makes sense. Less of that. We will circle back on 1-2 things, as you saw there with Konsa people. But let's keep it moving. As you can see, Romano said, breaking Bruno Guimarães to Arsenal. Here we go. Agreement in place with Newcastle after long talks and personal terms in place with Bruno since July. Fee worth 75 mil. New midfielder for Mikel Arteta, people. Keeping it moving. Bruno Guimarães set to join Arsenal. 75 mil package. Lyon due 67 million. And 3.75 million solidarity goes to former clubs. Newcastle player sales in the last 12 months is at 350 mil. Fair play, man. Fair play. They're doing their thing. Keith Downey, who actually yesterday tried to say, there's still no talks with Arsenal and Newcastle. Maybe there's not. I don't know how we're signing Bruno because to my knowledge, there's still verbal agreements. I don't know, man. This is why I let the Dons who, you in the knows and ITKs and football experts and football scholars. I'm just a football fan. But yeah, Arsenal have agreed a 75 million fee with Newcastle for their captain Guimarães. The Newcastle captain has been given permission to travel to London for a medical. Guimarães told Newcastle bosses earlier this summer that he wanted to join Arsenal if a suitable offer arrived. Bruno did everything Newcastle asked, including attending training camp in La Manga, and great respect remains between the player and the club. Their fans probably, the hottest loves have the coldest ends. Completely off topic, but we did get Odegaard. We did get Vini. You could throw Ceballos and Julian Baptista, but Vini, come man. They should have changed the graphic to the champs. This is a long ass read, isn't it? But Keith Downey said, yawn. Newcastle did not want to sell and were desperate to keep Bruno. If Bruno had said he wanted to stay, Newcastle would have refused any offer from Arsenal or any other club. Attempts to persuade him otherwise and positive conversations were held, but Bruno was insistent he wanted to leave because he felt this was his last big opportunity to win titles. Get more money because you have 2 years left on your deal. I don't know if they want to give you... I don't know if your new contract at Newcastle, if you stayed, they would have given you a 4 or 5 year deal, which I assume is at Arsenal. Opportunity to win silverware. And at the end of the day, bro, the hottest loves have the coldest ends. I know many Newcastle fans, mainly social media, people are excited on social media, but many people will understand the food chain in life and say, you know what, Bruno, you've done it the right way. Go and live your life because there's a reality. You reject all of these clubs. You get to 30, 31. You want a 2 year deal. The club only wants to give you a 1 year. It is what it is. But there's a lot of people up in arms. Like, oh my God, he's a snake. He's a Judas. He's whatever. You got one life to live. They don't, as much as Bruno loves Newcastle and they love him. Remember, this is a job, and this goes for all players in all walks of life. They don't love you. They know what you can do. Only your mum loves you unconditionally. They love you because you're a bloody good footballer. That's it. Attempts to persuade him otherwise. And again, why would you, not that you would want to stay, but you can see that the project is there, which obviously Newcastle will be back in it. They've got a new manager. They've got new players. I don't know if they'll reach the highs of Eddie Howe, but they'll be back. That's good for those players. If it takes 3-4 years for that project to renew, how old is Bruno? So I don't know, people. And when I think Eddie Howe, he's communicated he wants to cut anyways, but if he had any willingness to want to stay, surely Eddie Howe cut and made him think, yeah, I'm out of here type of thing, people. The deal could only happen if 2 things happened. Bruno said he wanted to leave, which he has respectfully, and Newcastle sold on their terms, similar to Tonali and Gordon. Newcastle insisted it was their valuation or no deal. They would only deal at a fee which would become one of the highest ever paid in the world for a 28-year-old. So it's about saving face. All right, cool, Newcastle. You look great, man. You look amazing, bro. Yeah, man, you pulled Arsenal's pants down. Great stuff. Bruno, trainers at 7 a.m., man. Come. So yeah. In addition, a deal would only be sanctioned if the situation was handled properly, i.e. attending training camp in Spain. Newcastle feel Bruno has complied with their demands. They did not want a repeat of the Isaac situation where he refused to train. Agents were in between the clubs from the outset, but Newcastle refused all pushage, which had begun with mentions of 40 to 45 million in June. Arsenal elongated the transfer by refusing to contact Newcastle for weeks, which Newcastle found bizarre. Newcastle insisted there'd been no fallouts and good relations remained between the player in the club. We've kind of gone over this as well, people, but yeah, Ornstein's confirmed that it's a deal worth 75 million. We started with a significant lower fee. We've reached an agreement. He's scheduled to, have his medical and whatnot. Shout out hand of Arsenal, by the way. Bruno G has won more duels and more fouls than any other Premier League player across the last 3 seasons. He's also the only midfielder in the Premier League with 200 plus duels won, possession won, tackles won, fouls won. He also had 40 Premier League goal involvements in that time, which equates to 19 assists and 21 goals. On the Vinicius Junior front, unless there's been some update, Real Madrid sat down with Vini's agents a while ago and let them know that although they wanted him to stay, they would facilitate a sale if his plan was to leave, mainly to avoid him going for free in 2027. How? By offering them a share of the transfer fee. If Arsenal is willing to pay 150 million euros for Vinicius, Real Madrid would be willing to give Vini a percentage to smooth the way for a departure. It's a win-win-win. Vini gets a signing bonus, Real Madrid doesn't lose a player for nothing, and Arsenal signs a player before having to battle for him as a free agent. Now, I don't believe that, but if I was going to do the copium thing, I think that's a win-win-win for everyone. What do we make of that quote-unquote theory, people? Apparently, Jose personally called Vinicius after the World Cup. He told him he'll be a key player. Their relationship allegedly is very good. Is there any other updates? This is the most lucrative summer for sales in Real Madrid's history. Yeah, they sold their academy talent. Strasbourg. Okay, now forget that. What's this? Romano has said one more meeting for Vini and Real Madrid. Real Madrid want it sorted fast. Anything else? I know how this ends in it, but it is what it is. Camavinga wants to stay and fight. Vini and his agent will meet Real Madrid after training at 11 a.m. Spanish time. So it's 12:49 English time. What does that mean, people? I don't know, people. I don't know, man. But yeah, we should have been in for this guy, man. If Thiago Petrak goes Fulham, there's probably a buyback clause in that for Real Madrid. Arrived at, apparently it's scheduled today. He arrived for training. He starts training at 10 a.m. 11 a.m. is where the meeting is scheduled between his agents, people. James Baines has said, there are several suitors for Gabriel Martinelli. Roma and Juventus are understood to be among a number of Serie A clubs who hold an interest, while Fenerbahce are also monitoring events, according to CBS Sports sources. Martinelli, however, will not rush any move. Then you move on with that. Real Madrid apparently had previously told Vini Junior and his agents that although they want him to stay at the club, they would facilitate a sale if his plan was to leave by offering them a share of the transfer fee to avoid him leaving on a free transfer in 2027. There's a reality where this week, no conclusion is drawn on Vini's new deal, and he goes into the season potentially being a free agent, but they're able to get a contract. Everything's on the table. And again, what's being reported, which there's different legs to it depending on what journalists you read, we don't know, innit, people? So hope for the best, prepare for the worst. The worst being, okay, we never got Vini. Next target comes in. Apparently, Vini has rejected Real Madrid's latest offer of 22 million euros on a contract until 2031. The offer was sent 2 weeks ago and it was rejected. However, the club is not giving up. They will try again in direct meeting tomorrow. This meeting will be decisive. Apparently, the meeting's already started. I mean, we're hardly going to find out anything in that regards. The meeting's underway. Real Madrid intends to emerge from it with a clear solution. Should we get involved in Ibrahim and buy talk? I mean, if Liverpool get him and Bacola, they're taking a piss. Big up Tommy Yasu. He's moving towards signing for Crystal Palace on a permanent transfer. Hopefully he can stay fit. Romano said, let me mention one thing. I expect Arsenal to be busy again. Arsenal are not done in the market. I think there's going to be more to come for the Premier League champions. I hope so. And then, where is it gone? Where's the Konsa stuff gone? Let's circle back on that. Okay, what's all of this? I heard the other day that Ndiaye is a player that Arsenal really like. He's rejected a contract proposal at Everton for now, and El Hilal are working on that deal. Maybe they pull it off, but Arsenal are one of the clubs that made an inquiry. What are we saying for Ndiaye? I'm on that. I can't cap to you lot. I'm on that. We've gone over the Zubimendi stuff to Chelsea. Aston Villa are braced for a fresh bid from Arsenal from Ezri Konsa. Arsenal's initial proposal was well below Villa's 60 million valuation, who are not under financial pressure to sell. Konsa is a key target for Arsenal, and they are likely to give up. I mean, he's got 2 years left, 60 million. Let's do it for 50, even that. Like, if life was fair, 35 to 45. You know what? This is big up Konsa and big up Aston Villa, yeah. But this would be the one thing that I would say. If Arsenal do the stingy thing, I hear it, I understand it and whatnot. Konsa's a Spurs fan. He can be a Spurs fan. Paul Merson was a Chelsea fan. Arsenal fans loved him. Like, you can support whatever club you want, but you've got a job to do, innit? There's bare Arsenal fans that have probably slapped it on us. Kane grew up as an Arsenal fan. We've all seen him. Slapped it on us all the time. When you got a job to do, you got a job to do, man. Support you want as a person, innit? Just do your job on the pitch. 7 more likes and we have 100. Arsenal in for a Roja, another centre-back, and by he's a baller. Vini Saga is tired. Bro, it's giving us something to talk about. Comedy, appreciate you. Like up the stream. We are the champions. And that is techie. But how much are they asking, though, man? Can we do it for 50, 60? And even that, I'm like, I like him. I like his story. To be honest, I watched Bruno carefully during the World Cup. He doesn't cover ground as well as he used to. He's better than Telemans, though. Great to keep expectations low, but Vini is coming to the carpet. Real Madrid want to keep them all in line. Can't let Vini open the floodgates. Arsenal got the better tune signing over Spurs. Newcastle fans said Bruno was their best player. Another thing we bossed them on. Do they really need all these meetings if he signed a new deal? Yeah, because you got to be crystal clear. You got to dot I's and cross T's. But, man, fuck them Newcastle YouTubers and journalists, man. Big up the actual Newcastle fans. Fuck them, man. Bruno going to be a menace in an Arsenal shirt. I'm gassed about this one. This guy plays like a winner. He's going to get so many yellow cards. And potentially, we never got a red last year, did we? That's cap. Yes, we did. Did we? I feel like we did. I might be making things up. But he's definitely, listen, Bruno, you think that elbow thing you did against Jorginho, you do that in an Arsenal shirt, they're going to catch you for that one, mate. I can tell you that for free. I saw a report that the scum spuds were attempting to buy Osimhen that can't run. Serious financial package, really. Because I think that's why no one's really gone for Osimhen, because it can't be ability. It's got to be, there's too much signing bonuses and agent fees and wages. There's got to be something with Osimhen that we're not privy to as football fans. Because if it was just on ability, especially in this day and age where the striker market's dead, it reminds me of Ivan Toney before he went to Saudi. I'm English and live in England, but my family are Brazilian and live here, DG. So you're more than welcome next year, especially when we win back-to-back with Bruno and Vini. The parties will be insane. Come on. We'll link up there. We're all expecting Bruno G to get number 39 in it, essentially. Berta working his magic. That's an excellent signing fee given the current market. I hear it, man. Fair play. I think it's a myth that Vini is a dressing room disturbance. The dude is a good professional, especially when he's comfortable. You could argue disturbance could be good in a good way as well. Like, and I know I haven't seen them since we've been linked with him, but there were a lot of Arsenal fans that we used to talk about Vini. Oh, I don't want him because he's going to be negative in the dressing room. Bro, sometimes you need cunts. Sometimes you need them. If we keep Martinelli, we need to invest in a neck brace to keep his head up. Kevin, I'm on you. You don't think I forgot that comment where you're like, oh, you wouldn't give Saka 7 shirt, but Martinelli didn't allow it, man. And so what? You're dissing Martinelli after